Are we about to see a major squad shakeup at Stamford Bridge? When you wake up to transfer rumors swirling around your favorite club, that mix of excitement and worry hits differently. That's exactly what Chelsea fans are feeling right now. Two major stories are grabbing headlines, and they could change the shape of our squad for next season. Will Noni Madueke really leave for AC Milan? And is Jamie Bino-Gittens the answer to our wing problems? Let's dive deep into these transfer stories that have the Chelsea community buzzing. The Noni Madueke situation, a €60 million question. Picture this. A 23-year-old winger who cost us around £29 million just 2 years ago might be walking out the door for double that amount. Noni Madueke's future at Chelsea has become one of the hottest topics this summer, and the numbers being thrown around are eye-watering. AC Milan are reportedly very serious about signing our English winger. The Italian giants see him as the perfect replacement for Rafael Leao, who himself might be heading to the Premier League. It's like a game of musical chairs, but with millions of euros at stake. What makes this story even more interesting is the price tag. Chelsea are reportedly asking for around €60 million to let Noni Madueke go this summer amid transfer interest from AC Milan. That's roughly £50 million, not exactly pocket change, even for a club like Milan. But here's the thing that might surprise you: Madueke isn't actually pushing for a move. According to reports, he's quite happy at Stamford Bridge and isn't actively trying to force his way out. This isn't one of those messy situations where a player goes on strike or refuses to train. Instead, it seems like Chelsea might be open to selling if the right offer comes in. Why would Chelsea consider selling Madueke when he's shown real promise? The answer probably lies in squad planning and financial considerations. Under Enzo Maresca, the club wants to streamline the squad and make room for new signings. Noni Madueke, who has featured heavily under Enzo Maresca, is the leading name on the list, along with Robert Sanchez. This approach makes business sense when you think about it. Madueke arrived as a raw talent from PSV Eindhoven, and if his value has doubled in just over 2 years, selling him could fund moves for other priority positions. It's not personal, it's just the modern football business. The Milan connection isn't random either. Italian clubs have a history of helping English players revive their careers. Think about players like Tammy Abraham at Roma, or even going back to David Beckham's time at AC Milan. There's something about Serie A that seems to suit certain English players, and Madueke could thrive in that environment. But should Chelsea fans be worried about losing him? On one hand, Madueke has shown flashes of brilliance and is still very young with room to grow. His pace and direct running have caused problems for Premier League defenses, and those are qualities you don't want to give up easily. On the other hand, consistency has been an issue. He's struggled to nail down a regular starting spot, partly due to competition and partly because his performances have been up and down. For a player of his talent, you'd expect more goals and assists at this level. Enter Jamie Bino-Gittens, the Dortmund sensation. Now, if Chelsea are considering letting Madueke go, they'll need a replacement. Enter Jamie Bino-Gittens, the 20-year-old English winger who's been lighting up the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund. This is where the story gets really interesting. Chelsea are reportedly considering a move for Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Bino-Gittens, according to The Telegraph. The timing isn't coincidental. If one winger goes out, another needs to come in. Bino-Gittens represents everything modern football loves: young, fast, technically gifted, and already performing at the highest level. At just 20 years old, he's already made his mark in the Champions League and has been one of Dortmund's most exciting players. What makes him special? For starters, his pace is electric. He's the type of player who can beat defenders on the outside or cut inside and create havoc. His Champions League performances have caught the eye of several Premier League clubs, with his goal-scoring ability being particularly impressive for someone so young. The financial side of this potential deal is interesting too. The club is aware of the £40 to £50 million asking price for a possible transfer in the summer of 2025. That's actually less than what Milan are reportedly willing to pay for Madueke, which could make this a smart piece of business. But here's where it gets complicated. Chelsea aren't the only ones interested. Tottenham Hotspur have reportedly joined the race to sign Borussia Dortmund's Jamie Bynoe-Gittens for £84 million. Spurs are placing the England under-21 international at the top of their summer wishlist, despite a potential bidding war with Arsenal and Chelsea. Wait, 84 million? That's quite different from the 40 to 50 million figure mentioned earlier. This shows how volatile transfer valuations can be, especially when multiple clubs are interested. It also suggests that Dortmund know they have a special talent on their hands and won't let him go cheaply. The competition from Arsenal and Tottenham adds another layer of complexity. No Chelsea fan wants to see a talented English winger end up at a rival club, especially when we could use that kind of talent ourselves. It would be like watching Raheem Sterling join Manchester City all over again, painful and avoidable. What makes Bynoe-Gittens particularly appealing is his background. He came through Manchester City's academy before moving to Dortmund, so he understands English football but has developed his game in one of Europe's best youth development systems. That combination could be perfect for the Premier League. The bigger picture, squad planning and financial strategy. These two transfer stories aren't happening in isolation. They're part of a bigger strategy that Chelsea are implementing under their current ownership and management structure. The club is clearly trying to balance several factors: getting younger, reducing the squad size, improving quality, and managing finances. Selling a player like Madueke for €60 million and buying Bynoe-Gittens for £40 to £50 million would tick several of these boxes. From an age perspective, both players are young, but Bynoe-Gittens is 3 years younger and arguably has a higher ceiling. From a financial perspective, the club could make a small profit while potentially improving the squad. There's also the English quota consideration. Both players are English, so swapping one for the other wouldn't affect the club's homegrown player requirements. This might seem like a small detail, but it's these kinds of considerations that modern clubs have to factor into their planning. The Champions League factor can't be ignored either. According to a report from Give Me Sport, Jamie Bynoe-Gittens is ready to consider a move to Chelsea at the end of the season if Borussia Dortmund miss out on UEFA Champions League qualification. With Chelsea securing Champions League football for next season, we can offer something that Dortmund might not be able to. What this means for Chelsea fans. As a Chelsea supporter, how should you feel about these developments? It's complicated, and that's okay. On the positive side, the club is clearly being proactive in the transfer market. We're not just reacting to events, we're planning ahead and identifying targets early. The interest in Bynoe-Gittens shows ambition and good scouting. The potential Madueke sale, while disappointing for some fans, could be smart business. If the reports are true and Milan are willing to pay €60 million, That's excellent value for a player who cost £29 million and hasn't yet established himself as a consistent starter. But there are concerns too. Are we creating a revolving door where players come and go too quickly to develop properly? Madueke is just 23 and could still improve significantly with more time and patience. There's also the risk factor with any new signing. Bino Gittens looks promising, but the Premier League is different from the Bundesliga. Some players adapt quickly, others struggle. Remember, we've seen this story before with other young wingers. The competition factor. One thing that makes these situations more urgent is the competition from other clubs. AC Milan's interest in Madueke isn't casual, they see him as a key signing for their rebuild. If we're going to sell, we need to make sure we're getting maximum value. Similarly, with Bino Gittens, the interest from Arsenal and Tottenham means we can't afford to be slow or indecisive. Players of his quality don't stay available for long, especially when they're English and performing well in Europe. This is where Chelsea's recent transfer strategy could pay off. The club has shown they can move quickly when they identify a target. The challenge is making sure we're identifying the right targets and not just chasing the latest shiny toy. Looking at the tactical side. From a purely football perspective, how would these moves affect the team? Madueke has been used primarily as a right winger under Enzo Maresca, offering pace and directness. His crossing has improved, and he's shown he can contribute goals when given regular opportunities. Bino Gittens is more versatile, capable of playing on either wing and even centrally in attacking midfield. This flexibility could be valuable for Maresca's system, especially given how much modern football demands tactical adaptability. The German's goal record is also impressive for his age. In a Chelsea team that sometimes struggles to score enough goals, adding a player who can contribute regularly in front of goal could be crucial. The financial reality. Let's talk numbers for a moment. Modern football is driven by financial considerations as much as sporting ones, and these deals reflect that reality. If Chelsea can sell Madueke for €60 million and buy Bino Gittens for £40 to £50 million, the net cost would be minimal. In fact, depending on exchange rates and exact figures, the club might even make a small profit while potentially upgrading the position. This kind of trading is what successful clubs do. Buy low, develop players, sell high, and reinvest. It's not always popular with fans who get attached to players, but it's how clubs stay competitive while managing costs. The key is making sure that each trade actually improves the team. There's no point in churning players just for the sake of it. The football improvement has to be real and meaningful. What happens next? Transfer stories at this level rarely develop in straight lines. There will be twists, counteroffers, competing bids, and probably some surprises along the way. For the Madueke situation, everything depends on Milan following through with a concrete offer. Interest is one thing, but actually putting €60 million on the table is another. If they do, Chelsea will have a decision to make about whether that price is too good to refuse. For Bino Gittens, the challenge is outbidding and outmaneuvering Arsenal and Tottenham. According to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea made a formal inquiry for Bino Gittens last week. However, Dortmund expect the forward to stay in January. This suggests we're serious, but it might take a summer-long pursuit to get our man. The timeline matters too. These deals need to be completed early enough in the summer to give new signings time to integrate and for the team to prepare properly for the new season. Final thoughts: trust the process or hold on to what we have. As we look at these potential moves, the fundamental question for Chelsea fans is whether to trust the process or worry about losing good players too quickly. The optimistic view is that the club is making smart, strategic moves that will improve the team while also making financial sense. Selling high and buying smart is exactly what top clubs should be doing. The pessimistic view is that we're potentially losing a player who could still develop into something special, while chasing another young player who might not adapt to the Premier League. The truth, as always, probably lies somewhere in between. Football is unpredictable, and transfers rarely work out exactly as planned. What matters is that the club is being proactive, identifying targets early, and trying to improve the squad systematically rather than randomly. Whether Noni Madueke ends up in Milan red and black or stays in Chelsea blue, and whether Jamie Bino Gittens becomes our next wing sensation or signs for a rival, the important thing is that Chelsea are thinking strategically about the future. These moves represent more than just individual transfers. They're about building a squad that can compete at the highest level for years to come. Sometimes that means making difficult decisions about players we like, but that's the reality of modern football. The summer transfer window promises to be another busy one at Stamford Bridge. As always, the best thing we can do as fans is support whatever decisions are made and hope they work out for the best. After all, that's what being a Chelsea fan is all about, trusting in the club through all the ups and downs, transfers and rumors, wins and losses. What do you think about these potential moves? Are you excited about the possibility of signing Bino Gittens, or would you rather keep Madueke and see how he develops? Let the debate begin.